Hi, I'm Steven with SixStringers. Today, we're looking at a brand new kind of fret bending device. This is it. Looks really small, but it's super well engineered and extremely durable. And it does something no other bender does. It lets you choose the radius of the fret bend. No other fret bender does that. The other thing that no other fret bender does is let you bend a pre-cut fret. A lot of times you buy these, they say 12 inches, they say the radius, and you install it and the ends are popping up. That's because it wasn't 12 inches. And a 12-inch radius really needs to be bent to 11 to prevent the ends from springing up out of the fret slot. So I'm going to show you how this is used. First of all, there's 11 different radii die. Each one is clearly marked. There's a little groove in here, and that conforms also to the radius of the crown. And they're clearly marked. And that's what makes it work, by using a die that is the actual radius we're looking for. And also, because we're using a die, instead of rollers off to each side with a space in between, that's what makes it possible to do a short fret. Because when you have rollers, you can't get to the very end of the fret. You can only get to just where it falls off the roller. And so what you really have done trying to do that with that style of fret bender is you just buckled the middle. You haven't actually radiused the fret. And the same is true with the long fret wire. The kind that has the rollers in there, the old style everybody uses, because that's all that there has ever been. They lose about 1 inch off of each end of a 12-inch stick of fret wire. So that's 2 inches you're losing per 12 inches. That makes the fret wire all that much more expensive than it should be. Because why? Because the tool, like this one for example, look how far those are apart. Yeah, that's not going to bend the last inch on either end of this long wire. And it's not going to bend this either, because it's just going to fall right down in that little hole there. Well, it's not that little, actually pretty big. So yeah, and when you look at that, you go, oh, that's really big and this is really small. Size isn't what determines quality. You know, engineering is what determines quality. When you look at this guy here, there's all kinds of slop in there. That slop and the big massive handle, like, I'm going to start up a Model T by cranking the motor over. That slop can distort your fret, especially the tang, because it's going to do this, right? There is zero slop in this. And so what I'm going to do is from a distance here, I'm going to bend a wire. And then I'm going to bring the camera up closer so you can see really how this thing works. And I'm then going to explain to you why this is so durable, the way that it's constructed and engineered, so that you don't have any misconceptions about, oh, it's not made out of a big chunk of metal. That's not quality. Quality is in the engineering and the correct use of the materials. Okay. So we'll start with a short fret wire. I have a little package here, and these are supposed to be 12 inches. I know that this is not 12 inches. I've measured it. So you turn the screw backwards, push the die back down. I like to go upside down and line up the tang into the slot of the stainless steel roller. And then let gravity kind of hold it in that slot, so that I can just now turn this screw back down and tighten things up, move it along. And I need my glasses. And I'm looking for a flat contact between the bottom of the wheel and this lower and this edge here, the underside of the crown. And then I'll know that I've hit my radius. And then I can bend it. It goes all the way to the end. So that's going to be a really nice bend. Consistent all the way across. Now you notice that the handle is on the front, so I can also see what I'm doing. I'm not doing this backwards thing. And then on this one here, I'll see if I can turn the screw a little bit more. One thing I cannot do with a die is overbend it. You can overbend with rollers because you don't know the depth. There's no way to know the depth of those. Okay. So now I know that's 12 inches. Actually, it's 11. When you use a 12-inch die, you're really getting an 11-inch bend. And like I think I've said this before, so the ends don't pop up, okay? And so the dies are numbered for your target fretboard, not for the actual bend. The actual bend will always be 1 inch sharper. And for those of you that don't know about that, you can, for example, Google, is it a good idea to overbend fret wire before installing? Say, for example, I have a 12-inch fretboard. Is it a good idea to pre-bend the wire to 11 inches? And what you'll find out is, yes, that's the way it's done. That is the proper way. And so now I'm going to bring the camera in so that you can get a closer view. So here we are in the extreme close-up, and we'll take a look at how this thing is made first, okay? This drive wheel here, you'll see that it has the space in there for the tang. It's made of stainless steel. And you see the orange and the white. These are nylon parts, okay? The axle is nylon. You have a nylon washer here. There is a nylon bushing inside and another nylon washer. And the reason for that is so there's no friction wear, you know, and that's really important. And you see there's no movement in there. And so this is going to last for a really long time with those nylon parts. And then the crank handle is pressed on. It's a very, very tight fit, so it's pressed on. And then, of course, the spinner here spins with it. All right. So then we look at right here the install of the radius block. One screw. Okay, and of course, we include the Allen wrench for that, which is a lot better than a Phillips screwdriver or a straight slot screwdriver type deal. Allen wrenches are just so much better. Now the radius block sits in a pocket, so the alignment is very easy. You drop it in the pocket, the screw drops straight down. The block itself is threaded, and so is the block underneath it threaded, so you're going through two sets of threads, and so you're not going to strip that screw. Then you look at the wing screw here, and it also has a locking nut. Now, this body is carbon fiber composite. I can move that right there. And so that means that it required some additional components inside to make sure everything holds together. So what's inside here? The threads go into this hexagonal 20 millimeter brass threading. Okay? And then so the screw doesn't cause any damage to the carbon fiber composite. There is a brass block, a pusher block, that protects the carbon fiber plate that's inside. So everything has been considered in terms of longevity and durability that this guy's going to last you a really long time. Now, he's very compact, so you don't need to put it on your bench. And so that's going to save your workbench space, and which is really nice, because if you do something like this and you put it on a bench like so, it takes up the space and you're going to bang your knuckles, right? Because the handle's so big, and it's going to get in the way of other stuff that you're moving around on top of the bench press. And it just isn't necessary to have something like this on a bench. Easier just to have this, and it, you know, it's so compact that it's easy to store away and doesn't take up much space. And again, I think you may now know that it's built extremely well. All right, so let's get a short fret here. And I'm going to follow it into the slot there. All right, you can see it's going to go into the slot and let gravity do the job. I'll put my thumb there. Turn the screw down. I'm going to back up the set screw, locking nut. Now, I'm turning it very snug, but I'm not going to be a gorilla about it, because, you know, there's no point in doing that. And then, being a short fret, you can see it's going all the way. Oh, I pushed it all the way out. So I have to reset it. I have to loosen the die. But when I retighten it, I'll be right back to the radius of the die. Well, I'm going to watch this, because it's a short fret. I'm going to watch it come to the end and bring it back the other way. Watch it come to the end, because I can see it. And I can see through the crank handle because it has the windows in there. Okay, now I just come, let it run all the way out. And there. And as you can see, this guy now has a true radius. That's 11 inches, which is perfect for a 12-inch fretboard. When it comes to the long frets, most of these have already been bent. I tried to make this video the right way a few times. So I wound up, basically, here's one that is, that's not 12 inches. So back up the screw, push back the block, insert the fret with the tang in the slot. Tighten the screw. Now you want to do these. You want to start off somewhere in the middle. Tighten the screw. Yeah, this guy is definitely not 12. And then you can tighten the lock nut. I over tightened it. All the way to the end. And all the way to the end. I like to do it twice. And off it goes. Now I think you can see that's a big radius. It's definitely not what it was. And it's consistent, and it is 11 inches. So that is, I call it the FretZipper. The new way of bending fret wires. Choose your own radius. There are 11 of them from 7 1/4, 8 1/2, 9 1/2, 10, 11 1/2, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 20. So that's FretZipper. Choose your own radius. Get it perfect every time. And it has the overbend right out of the gate, so you don't have to worry about that. Every section of fret wire you don't lose anything off the end, like that 1 inch off of each end of a 12-inch. We're able to bend a short pre-cut fret, and I was pretty serious when I said I've bought these before. They're supposed to be 12 inches or 7 1/4 or whatever they say they are, and in my experience they just aren't. And I have had no way until now to bend a pre-cut fret. FretZipper. SixStringers, available on Reverb, and on Etsy, and on SixStringers.com.